Yesterday, the decision was taken to suspend trading in Woodford Equity Income Fund. Can you explain what that actually means for investors?
Basically what it means is investors unfortunately can't get access to their money at the moment. The fund is not pricing on a daily basis as it normally would, and they have suspended all dealing in or out of the fund for an undefined period of time, but a minimum of 28 days. So the headline news is investors cannot get access to their money should they require it.
And why has this happened?
This has been a bit of a vicious circle. Neil has had a period of underperformance, and when you have underperformance, money tends to go out of your fund as opposed to going in. When money comes out of your fund, you have to pay investors back within normally a day or two. That means you have to sell shares from your portfolio to raise that money, and the bigger shares with more liquidity, he's been selling those down. Now he's got a portfolio which has got much more mid, small and unquoted stocks, and they're much harder to sell to give people their money back. So it's been a challenging period for definite.
So when you say liquidity, is that the ability to buy and sell those shares?
Absolutely. So if you've got large companies, for instance, HSBC, BP, Vodafone, they trade tens of millions of shares every single day. If you've got a smaller company in the small cap or the mid cap index, they might only trade between 500,000 shares and say 2 or 3 million shares a day. And if Neil is trying to sell 5 or 10 million shares of that to get out of his position to pay unit holders their money back, he won't physically be able to do it. So to give an example, if you're trying to sell a share at £1 and the broker the other side of the trade knows that you're a forced seller, which is open in the market at the moment, they are much more likely to offer you a much worse price than the pound on screen. And that then is bad for those existing investors who are still in the fund, because they end up with a worse price as well.
So by suspending the trading and giving Neil more time, hopefully that means he'll be able to get better prices for those stocks?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no getting away that this is not good news. This is a flagship UK equity fund, and to my knowledge there's never been one that's been suspended before. We've had it with property, which is a much less liquid asset, but for those investors still in the fund, I think it is genuinely for their benefit to have this suspension. It will now allow Neil to sell the shares in a more orderly manner. He will not be known as a forced seller in the market, and he should actually be able to obtain a better price. Now, the other factor which is hugely important in this is what happens in the UK stock market over the period that the fund is suspended. If the market goes up, that would actually be good news, and he should be able to sell shares at a better price. If the market goes down, he might take the decision not to sell shares that day, because he has a period of grace, and it's at least 28 days. I have no idea any more than anybody else, but I would suggest this is going to be a 3 to 6 month issue.
So investors at the moment can't get their money out, you can't invest in it. So what happens with monthly savings?
So monthly savings won't be taken because there is no dealing in the fund. So typically monthly savings will be taken on whatever day of the month, depending on whether you invest directly with Woodford or via a platform as to what the outcome of that will be. On platform, we are still waiting to hear from Aegon as to exactly what that will be, but I think it's likely that the money for the monthly saving will go into the cash account.
So would it still be possible for people to redirect those monthly savings to a different fund if they wanted to?
Absolutely. If you've got monthly savings going into that and would like it put it into something else, just send us an email or give us a call on the usual numbers.
Okay, thank you.